Hi, I'm Dani Walker. Welcome to my channel. This is the Miss Universe 2019 recap. If you're new, please subscribe as well as hit that notifications button. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Thank you all so much for your patience. I got really sick after Miss Universe, so I did not have any time to quickly film a Miss Universe recap. I have been trying to get better in bed and really just resting, so I appreciate all of your guys' support. I have been reading your guys' messages that you've sent me on Instagram, which I really appreciate. I love you all so much, and thank you for all those prayers and well wishes. And actually, by the way, if you don't already follow me, please be sure to do so on social media at Dani Walker. Fortunately, I was able to find a ticket for Miss Universe 2019. If you guys follow me all the time, you'll see that I was one of the people who could not get a ticket when they sold out, and I finally tracked one down. I just literally kept asking and asking people, and a girl ended up not needing an extra, and she sold hers to me. Unfortunately, the seat that I had was not very great, so I did not have a good view of the show, and I have not watched the full telecast, so keep that in mind during this recap. I was sitting way in the back of the show, and actually, if you guys want to see what kind of view I had of the show, then check out my Miss Universe 2019 vlog that you guys can see right up here. And you'll actually see a mini recap at the end of that vlog with myself, Sarah Rose Summers, and Nia Sanchez, and you guys can see what our initial thoughts were after the show at 4 a.m. My thought from being inside of the venue was that the show opening looked really beautiful, and I thought that that was very well done. I thought that the camera angles looked awesome. We could see a little bit of what you guys were seeing on the telecast. They had a screen projected behind the audience, which was capturing those camera angles. So I got to see a little bit of what that telecast looked like, and for me, it looked really good, actually. I thought that the performance was really well done, so I have no complaints there. I really liked it. The thing I took issue with was the really long opening monologue. I almost felt like we were watching the Oscars and how the comedians come in and the host does this really, really long opening show monologue, and I just didn't understand why that was happening. Somebody suggested that it might be because they had a shortage of performances during the show, so maybe that was it, but next year going forward, I hope that we jump right into the show and right into the announcement of our semifinalists instead of watching a monologue for the show opening. As a former Miss USA contestant, I appreciated the sponsorship that we had from Sherry Hill. I thought it was great that we had opening number dresses, and I thought that that was so awesome. But over the past few years, I feel like we're seeing the same Sherry Hill opening number dresses. And I would really like to see some either new pieces from her collection or just something different on stage. I did really like, though, that when they were calling out the contestants this year, that they were showing their national costumes when they were announcing the countries, and I really missed that. I can remember years ago watching the national costume show or seeing the contestants in their national costume at some point during the final show, like seeing a clip of them in it, and I really, really liked that part. Once again, we saw that the top 20 announcement took forever, literally forever. Like, I would rather have seen the contestants compete. My suggestion for a show format would be something like announce all of your top 20. Yay, awesome, good job, ladies, clap for them. And then go to a commercial break, come back from commercial, and do their opening statement. Or announce a contestant, do her opening statement. Announce a contestant, do her opening statement. Do your first half of your semifinalists, do your commercial break, and then come back and finish your second half. There's still lots of suspense there. There's still lots of cool things to see during the show. I was just getting so bored with the contestants interacting with Steve Harvey. If you're watching this on a mobile device, make sure that you screenshot this episode, post it in an Instagram story, and tag me at Dani Walker with your thoughts on the show. Unlike the Miss Universe run of the show, I am not going to spend most of this recap talking about the top 20 announcement. We're going to move right along to the swimwear competition. I wish they would have got rid of the capes for the final show. I don't think that they added to the contestants. Last year, I really liked what they put all of the contestants in. I loved the swim performance in Thailand. It was so beautiful. It was so fun. All of the contestants looked incredible. But this year, I did not like that the contestants essentially just moved across the stage. If you're sitting in the audience, you would just see the side of the contestants, and then they would stop and do their poses and either face a camera or face out towards the judges. I really felt like they did not work out all of the camera angles, especially with the lighting. We saw a lot of light beams that seemed to get in the way of actually seeing the contestants. But I did think that throughout the show, the camera angles seemed to get better. So it seemed like whoever was filming it was slowly learning, oh, this is a better shot of the contestant. And what else I didn't like about that side angle walk was that not each of the contestants got any type of close-up shot, and some actually forgot to do their pose. So for example, we missed France's pose completely at the very end, and if I was a contestant, I might have been confused about that too. You're nervous, you just got called into semifinals, it's the telecast, things are moving very quickly, and you're not always going to remember, okay, how many times do I stop on the runway, and where do I stop, and where do I look? Personally, I loved Zozibini's final pose and her facial expressions during swimwear. I was like, yes, that stuff I could not see from the audience, so now getting to watch the close-up was amazing. I also was really impressed with Peru, so way to go, Miss Peru. You were fabulous during swim at Miss Universe. I loved her. I probably would have put her in a top 5 if I was judging. One thing I do love is that the contestants did not walk out in groups this time. Thank you, MUO. Please never, ever, 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 ever bring back the groups. That just defeats the whole special moment of the contestants competing on stage at Miss Universe. So I was really happy to see that each of the contestants at least walked out one by one for swim and for gown. Out of curiosity, I wondered how long was this year's swim competition in comparison to 10 years ago. So I looked at Miss Universe 2009 and I just watched the clip from finals during swim, and that was a 6-minute clip of the finalists. And when each of the contestants came out, they showed a little video clip of them at a photo shoot earlier in the previous weeks at Miss Universe of the contestants in a swimsuit. So I loved the swimsuit clips. I loved the photo of the girls in swimsuit. And then we also still got to see the contestants on stage, and I thought that was really great. So in 2009, we saw a lot more of the contestants, and then fast forward to 2019 and the swimsuit competition was only 4 minutes long. That's kind of crazy. Like 4 minutes of the contestants actually competing, not including the girls coming out in their swimsuits for the swimsuit number dance. So I would like to see a lot more of the contestants. Gown I was a little happier with. I like that they had the contestants walk on and they started really walking center first, and then they walked to stage left before they did that final pose. Personally, I think it would have looked a lot better if the contestants walked straight forward and we had this nice long pose of them. You could do a full body shot, you can get a close-up shot of their face, you could have even had camera crews on stage circle the contestants, show them the entire audience because it was packed since it was such a small venue. At least that could have been a really cool shot to show, like, look at how packed it is here in Atlanta, and do that kind of shot of the contestants before they walk off to the side, because once again we were missing some looks of the contestants. Halfway through gown, the performer came back on, she sang, and then it seemed like they really worked out those camera angles. So the second half of contestants got better camera angles than the first half. Most notably was Thailand. She seemed to get that really great center camera shot, and she got the full body shots, and if I was everybody else I would have wanted Thailand's shot, but for her they got it right, and I think for everybody else they needed a lot more practice with those camera angles for consistency. Also, can we just talk about Mexico's turn? Like, that's why I come to pageants, right? Isn't that why we all show up, for those moments of just surprise and shock and awe? And by the way, if you guys watch my pre-arrival faves and post faves episodes, which I can also link up here, I didn't mention Miss Mexico. I actually did when I filmed, but I ran out of time editing, so I had to cut contestants, unfortunately, from my recap, and I was just like cutting quickly. So if you guys want to actually see the full length version, and if you guys want to see all the missing clips from my pre-arrival faves and post-arrival faves videos, then comment below, let me know. Comment Miss Universe down below and let me know if you guys want to see that. I want to say two things. Being in the live audience is so different from being on TV, and there were 3 contestants during gown that the crowd really reacted to. I heard a very audible reaction to Zozibini when she came out in her gown. It was just stunning, and for me that was my favorite gown of the night, favorite performance. I was like, that was the right choice. Obviously, when Mexico did that turn and flawlessly pulled off that big overskirt, that was stunning. And the other moment was when Indonesia came out, because her gown, even though it is that typical sheer, fully rhinestoned gown, the way that it fit her and her hair and her makeup and her styling, just everything about it was so well done that you could hear this audible in the audience when she walked out. So really, really great job on the part of their teams, which was, I think that those people, whoever put all of that stuff together, deserves some recognition as well, because it's not just the title holder, it does take a village, right? So for them to look that way when they get on stage, very, very well done. I want to say Peru once again impressed me, and I loved her during top 10 gown. I also want to mention our Miss USA Chesley. I definitely could have seen her in a top 5, but I feel like the gown knocked her out from that spot. It just did not help her to really shine. And I just wanted to see something with more drama, something more over the top. When I saw the gold gown, I thought it fit her perfectly. It looked great on her. I liked the hair with it. I liked the shoes. She didn't wear a massive tippy top heel or anything like that. I thought that was really well done. But that was a look that I would have seen on a red carpet for an appearance for her, not for that Miss Universe moment. I just wanted more. I was really glad though to see France make it into the top 10 after her trip and slip during prelims. I was so happy that they let her compete for the telecast show. So I really, really loved her gown and just her overall elegance. I would comment on the onstage question for top 5, for top 3, and that last word or whatever it is that they're calling it. But frankly, I think that there was just too much talking during the show. So we're gonna leave that as is. I think that the contestants did a really, really great job. Fun fact, by the way, guys, if you wonder why the contestants in recent years sound so awesome, at least at my year at Miss USA, they don't just send you on stage and say, we're gonna give you a really super controversial question, or we're gonna give you a hard topic to stump you. The night before finals for us, they did give us a sheet of paper, and it was a list of 20 topics. And the topics were going to be what the onstage questions were about. So we were never given our exact onstage question, or we never get to listen to sample onstage questions. None of that happens during our rehearsals, but we were given a sheet of paper that had 20 topics. And then you can look over the topics, and I remember looking over the topics and going, oh my gosh, yes, of course. We all prepped on those things for our interview prep, so they weren't topics that were out in left field. There were only about 2 or 3 subjects that I personally looked at and thought, what are my opinions on those things? And so I went ahead, Googled a couple things, and then I felt that if I were to be in that top 5 or get asked a question on stage, that I would have been prepared for that. But I really like that they give everyone the topics, just so then you don't have a situation where a contestant completely blanks out on stage. You can't guarantee that, but it does help a lot, and it just makes you go, oh, okay, now I know what the topics are on, now I know what the questions are going to be about a little bit. So I would assume that that happened at Miss Universe, especially if we're dealing with contestants who are coming from other countries who might have to use a translator. And also I would assume that they were still doing that at Miss USA this year. So that's just a little fun fact if you guys are wondering, like, how are these women like so prepared for these questions? I could never answer anything like that. 100% yes, you can. It is practice. It is going out there, doing your homework, and staying up to date with current events and topics. Now, could I do that today? I certainly wouldn't want to. It takes a lot of practice. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I hope that you really enjoyed it and that you're gonna subscribe, hit that notifications bell, follow me on social media at Dani Walker, and come back for next week's episode. Bye, guys.